Hi friends, in our time together today, I'm sharing one of my practice sessions of that really fun jig, the Blackthorn Stick. I recently introduced the tune, and if you've not been through that walkthrough yet, you could access it, a card here at the top, but I'll also put a link at the end of this video so that you could access that walk through the tune. Just hang out with us now. But I'll also add a link to the top of the notes to this video to the page on my website from which you could download the music and tabs if you've not done that yet, and if you use those. No point in downloading them if you don't use them. Anyway, I love sharing practice sessions of tunes. And for today's practice session, and I also like using different whistles so that you keep getting a different flavor of a variety of whistles. So for today's practice session, I'm using the Kerry Tenor D, and this is an amazingly inexpensive low D whistle. It's non-tunable, but this is I feel like this is about the perfect starter whistle because it's inexpensive and yet great, consistent quality, good tone. Not a completely free blower, but it plays really well. So that's a great whistle. And the Shish Pro High D. This is kind of my go-to whistle when I'm sitting around and I just want to try a bunch of tunes, and I don't want it to be really loud, but I still want it to be expressive. And the Shish Pro works out really well for that. I'll put links in the notes to this video where you could pick up either or both of these really fun tunes. The Blackthorn Stick and my practice session. First, pace. I think it's important for us to realize that when you're playing a jig, you're playing a quicker tune. And so there must be some random language around the world where jig means quick. How's that for a dad joke today? So anyway, I kind of pulled out the metronome. Well, I looked up a metronome, and I listened to some of my favorite renditions of the tune, and a lot of them were hovering like between the low 120 beats per minute and maybe up to around 130 beats per minute. One of my favorites is at 124 beats per minute. Let me give you a sense of that pace. All right, so that's not undoable as a goal. If you get into a session and people are going wild, you're going to have to play it faster. But that 124 beats per minute was a group playing it, having a blast. And so, but that doesn't mean that you have to play it at that pace. If your pace is a lot slower, then that's the pace for you. As I like to say, play a tune as you can, not as you can't. See, if you're always driving to something you can't do, you're going to feel really bad about where you are. Accept where you are, play it where you are, and then press to get better. Work, practice to get better. You're not going to get better overnight. So like if 124 beats per minute is totally undoable for you, that's perfectly fine. Play it where you can. At some point, as you keep practicing, you'll be there. But if you don't keep practicing, you'll never get there. So anyway, now before I jump into my practice session, two other quick things. Where am I on the continuum? I feel like I can play the tune for the most part at like that 124 beats per minute. So I can play it pretty quickly, but I can't ornament it well that quickly. And that's very interesting. So I've really got to really get my fingers moving enough to ornament it, I've got to dial it back from that. And that's perfectly fine too. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you can play the tune to pace, but you can't ornament it well to pace, and you're playing with a bunch of other people, just play the tune. and that'll be fun. There's a lot of ornamentation going on anyway. Ornamentation, think momentarily about ornamentation. Ornamentation is intended to enhance the flow of a tune, not to dominate the tune, nor to distract from the flow of the tune. So you heard that flow of the tune. So that's the flow of the tune, and ornamentation should enhance that. This is a dance tune. It's moving, it's flowing. You want the ornaments to bring a little more life and liveliness to the way you're playing the tune. And those are the ornaments you're going to select. So you're not going to park on a note and just sit there and listen to it for a while. You're just going to keep driving forward, and you're going to mess around with the tune so that it feels like it's moving even faster than it is. And that's where some people I noticed put in extra runs. So whatever you feel like doing there, let me jump in to practicing it. And I'll stand so that you can see my hands. So sorry for all the early preambling there, but those are all important points for us. So as I get into this tune, remember my feeling is that you're ornamenting to enhance. You're never ornamenting to show off. So the tune, I'm thinking, so just kind of things that add flow. And I know I did a little cut there, but I've heard a lot of folks do a slide because it feels like you're drawn in, especially if you've got a flowing dance going on. Okay. So yeah, if I tried that up to that 124 beats per minute, I'd just get lost in a lot of that. See there, you can even add a note in to enhance the run. So on that double notes, like a double cut above or a roll sounds really good because it adds more movement. And when people slide up from the D to the G, I've noticed from an expression standpoint an increase in volume. And then the second bit, the B part, this is where I've heard so many people, because of the pace of the tune, we often say in Irish music that tonguing's not like one of the most widely accepted ornaments, but I've heard so many people in Irish bands and in sessions just play that second bit. So they're trying to, so the A part's very flowing and moving, and you're drawn into the movement of it. And then the start of the B part is actually a little bouncy there. So whatever ornamentation you could do that keeps movement going, but adds some bounciness to it. Oh yeah. So like I said, I've heard people just hard tonguing those repeat notes, or adding a little variation in. A couple of variations I've heard. Or somebody might hard tongue one of the repeat notes, add a roll to another, a roll going into one of the triplets, hold one of them. Like here's like a hold example. Sorry. See, you get to that second measure where the A is, and some people hold that for a moment, and it almost, it creates a little tension because you want to keep moving. And there I did a little bit of you could do a roll going into that first triplet, and then just like a cut on the second D, and then slide up to the G. But if you're doing that, it's very repetitive, and that's why some people like sit on that second E. And yes, the ending of the B part is the ending of the A part. And so there's a lot of repetition, and that's why the tune feels easier to learn there. So that's some of what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to find a way to punctuate the flow of the tune and to recognize that punchiness at the beginning of the B part. So what I want to do is, I've been playing the Kerry Tenor. I'm going to pull out the Shish Pro, and I'm gonna see what I can do. I don't know that I'm gonna try and do it up to pace, because then I'm just gonna play the notes and I'm gonna forget all the ornaments. So let me see if I can go through with repeats on and try out some stuff for you on the Shish Pro. And remember, if slow's best for you, slow's good. And yes, I slowed down a couple of places because I was able to. I knew I needed to get the ornaments in that I wanted to do. And interestingly, I've even seen some groups as they play this. The pace varies, up to 6 beats per minute depending upon the section they're in. So don't feel bad about that. So I'll try some of those bits again. I really need to work on the intro to the B part there. Oh dear. Okay. Yes, I need to work on it. Yes, it is a blast. I maybe should have dialed the pace back a bit, but I wanted to give you a sense of some of the tension you feel in yourself as you're trying to ornament a fast tune. I found myself, along the continuum, I'm nowhere yet near ready to perform this for anybody. I'm up to I think I kind of know what I want to do, but I need to play with it. And my playing for you has helped me realize that in a couple of places I'm not real comfortable, particularly that intro to the B part. I'm flummoxed. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like that. My friends, I hope this walkthrough of my practice session and it is helpful for you. If you're brand new and just checking us out because of the tune, we've got a fun community of folks really helping each other learn to play the whistle, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of the community and I guess the face of the community. So I'd love to welcome you in. Please subscribe. Enjoy working on this tune. Have a blast with it. And until next time, my friends, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.